Good morning, class. Here is the second edit for the 6 edits grid in Photopea. We're practicing using different tools. And today we'll have to do with selection tools. They really take a lot of practice. They're challenging, even for me. And so watch me make a bunch of mistakes and then figure out how to go from there. Okay, so before we get the photos for the next edit, there's something about this first one that I may have not told you to do. One last step. What we did yesterday was create a blend of 2 photos with a pattern and then label it with text. And then this is the last step I wanted you to do, which was to select all the layers, see how I have them linked. So what I did was I held down Shift or Command or Control. I think they all work in Photopea, and click the link. This way they are linked together, they stay together. And then one more thing is I created a folder right here. And that puts all those layers together in one folder and kind of keeps the that one little mini artwork, that one edit, all together in one place. So I suggest you label it. You can double click on the word and call it edit 1, and I'll call this one beach. Right. And there. I can close it up and now start the next one. So, and by the way, if you click the move tool on the top left, we can move this anywhere we want. And also, if I want more room over here for the next one, I can transform it. And if you saw my previous video, I was making a rookie move. I didn't realize that these pins were actually way down here for this one piece of art. So I could probably crop that at some point, but I'm not going to right now because that's not the focus of this lesson right now. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. All right, then hit check or return to keep that transformation. And the reason the pins are still showing is because this is checked right here. I can undo that. So now we're going to start another one. And if you remember from yesterday, what we did was we start with a rectangle. So click on it, and I'm using the default rectangle with the default settings so far. All right. What I want to do this time, however, is a little different. I want to make it have a stroke, and you'll see why at the end. I'm going to choose blue to keep it simple, and I'm going to make it a little thicker, maybe about 15, okay? And go click, drag, make it a little bigger just so I can see better. And I can always zoom in, remember. So see, I have a rectangle that actually has a blue line around it. The blue line is the stroke right here. Okay, next step, find a couple pictures. All right, today we're going to learn how to select something in one picture, cut it out, and show what's underneath in the other picture. All right, so you can use any pictures you want, but you want to use one with a lot of contrast or hard shapes. You'll see why in a moment. I'm going to show you the pictures I use. You can use too because I shared them to you in the assignment. So I'm going to open and place some photos into this edit, and it's on the desktop, and it's in the folder called Portraits and Blending Samples. You guys have access to that. If you want to download this photo, right, do so. Let's I show you. Go. I think it was this one. Yes. All right. So there's a cat. That's Iski. That's my old cat who keeps screaming in the background of our class. I'm gonna open it and see how it opens and places it in the middle of our document of the whole big background, right? And I'm going to then click on a pin and hold down Shift so I don't distort the aspect ratio. I don't want to squeeze or stretch the photo, and place him over that. I want to make it a little bigger. Move it over a touch. Okay. And then I'm going to open another one. File, open and place. This way it places it in this document, our 6 edits, rather than as a separate tab. Right. And I want to find something kind of colorful and interesting. All right. And open that up. All right, so I got that photo. Hold down Shift, transform it a little smaller, and I'm going to put it here. So everything's in place. Now I got to rearrange. So watch closely. I'm going to hit a check that I want to keep that move and that transformation of the size. All right. So what I'm going to do is put the sunset photo, this lighthouse point in Santa Cruz, and put it under. See, grab the layer in the negative space here, put it underneath cat. Okay. And then remember how we fit the photos into the rectangle. We go into the negative space of the layer and right click, mask it. Right click, mask. All right, now everything's in place. If I turn off the view of the cat, you can see the picture underneath right there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is cut his eyes out. I know it sounds disgusting, but that's what we're going to do. All right, and here it goes. First, these two tools over here, this one looks like a lasso. It's called the lasso tool. How about that? All right, and you can use, these are different ways of selecting areas of your photo that it makes a dotted line around, and then you can do something with that space, fill it with color, cut it out. There's all kinds of things. All right. And they take a lot of practice to actually just use, like how to handle it with your mouse. The next one below it is a collection of more automatic selection tools, object selection, quick and magic wand. These all work to select areas of your photo in specific ways. And I posted a website in our Google Classroom that walks you through how each one works. And it's going to take a lot of practice for each one. So don't get frustrated too quick. What I found as I troubleshot how to grab his eyes is this. The way these tools work in general is they're looking for areas of contrast. So if you use an automatic tool like this one, quick selection, I'm going to click it. And I had, what it is it's like a paintbrush where you're painting what you want selected. There's a size of it and different modes of adding and subtracting from your selection. If I go here into his eye and click, I need to rasterize first. Okay, means I have a different wrong format of the file to work with this document, but good thing it knows and it's fixing it. All right, let me try again. There. Oh, that worked pretty good. Didn't work that well last time. All right. And I can click and hold and push. Whoop, and then I went too far, right? So when I pushed those, I told it to push and stretch out a little bit. It went woo, way too far out. And if you notice, it's looking for edges. See how it's darker here and lighter here on the cat himself? And so it's trying to understand what I want it to select. I don't want it to select that. So I could do two things to undo what I just did. I can go Command or Control Z, that's undo. I can also go like this and select menu. I can deselect. See, on a Mac, this is Command D. On a PC or Chromebook, it's Control D, I think. So I'm going to deselect and start over and click on it again. All right. And if I want to, yeah, I'm going to do this too. If I can get both eyes at the same time. Awesome. All right. So I just selected automatically, and that worked way smoother than the 15 minutes that I was just practicing other tools. All right. But once you have an area selected, you can now do something in that space inside the selection. And what I want to do is just delete it. I'm going to click delete on the keyboard and see if that works. And yes, it did. All right. So there we go. And see how it's still selected. The dotted line is still there. I want to Command D and deselect that. So now he has sunsetty eyes. If I want to adjust this, make his eyes a little bigger, I want to zoom in. I'm going to click on this photo. It's already clicked and selected. And I want to transform that one. And I'm going to hold down Shift to keep all the proportions correct and zoom in on his eyes. All right, isn't he dreamy? He's got a sunset in his eyes. All right, and I could leave it right there. I kind of want more orange, so I could go on to, I'm going to hit return and keep that that transformation. Go on to the sunset picture, and I want to move that one a little bit. So see, it looks like it might have the cat, but see how this layer is selected, and I can move it now where I want it to get the best little combination of colors. All right, I'm going to leave that right there. I think it's kind of cool this time that it left his pupils right there. So it's kind of more realistic, surreal, but realistic. All right. Now, I could be done with that, but I want to try one more thing. I'm going to put an adjustment on top of the cat. And I want to try threshold. All right. Now, what I did there is add this adjustment, which turns it like hard black and white. It's like a cartoon effect. But I've lost the color because this is also applied to every layer below, because I could try to clip it, but I learned when I was practicing that it still didn't quite do the trick. It's still, this adjustment is going through all the photos, right? So I'm going to try to mask this, meaning I'm going to block some of this adjustment so that the color of the sunset shows through. And so I'm going to try lasso tool this time. All right, so I'm on lasso tool right there, and I'm going to draw around the eye. Like that. And then go to what I have down here in my colors. I have it's black at the top. That means that's the color that I have on my palette. And I want to go to edit and fill with black. Oops, I made a mistake. Okay, oops, I unselected. I'm going to go back and select it on my history. Okay, first I wanted to draw it on the mask right here. Right, this blank white part of the threshold adjustment. I have it selected. Now I got black paint. I'm going to use edit and fill with black and see if that works. Hit OK. Let's hope it works. Yes. All right. So what I did there was paint this little black dot right there. Is actually a black circle that I just painted in order to block the threshold adjustment. I'm going to try it again here. See if it'll let me. I'm using the mouse right now, which is a little challenging to draw with. Okay, go edit, fill. Okay, pow. All right, now the selection indicator, the dots, the dotted line is still there. So I'm gonna, excuse me, deselect that, Command D. Boy, when you sneeze in the time of COVID, good thing I'm alone, right? All right. Now, I want to resize this and then put my text. So first, I'm going to select everything. All right, and then do free transform and hold down the shift key to keep the proportions. All right, and then hit done. And check mark. And now I got my blue line back. Fine, okay. Is it really there? Not really. Let's see. All right, I'm going to draw another rectangle to get that blue line right there is just indicating that I have it selected, but it didn't keep the stroke I started at the beginning. So I'm going to try this, grab a rectangle, go right over the previous one. And before I get out of the tool, take another shaper, I'm going to have it not filled and try a stroke again. Oh, I see. It's just a little bigger. All right. transform that. See, I got this layer selected. I want to transform it. Free transform and pull it out. Do I have the right one? Let's see. No. What did I do wrong here, ladies and gentlemen? I did something wrong. All right. Now that's right. That's what I wanted. Okay. I guess it was just because it was down here and I had to move it to the top. There it is. All right. And I want to move it a touch more. Right there. All right. So there, I got a box around it. Now I want to put the text. Text tool, text layer. Now I got that. Once I click, it's going to create the layer at the top. That's where I want it. I'm going to choose another font. Don't need to be too fussy about it. Click in here. And what did I use? I used selection tools. Yeah. I used the threshold adjustment. And that's enough description right there. We find the shape of that. I'm going to click my move tool, put it there. So now I got two edits. Should I resize it? Maybe so, but first I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold down Shift and select all my layers together and put them in a folder first. This will make it easier to manage. Okay, go edit 2. And now I got, when it's a closed folder, I believe I can just grab it and move it. Yes, all right. And I can resize it by go transform, hold down Shift to keep the shape, make it fit a little better. All right, so there's edit number 2. Thanks for playing. Confirm.